Friends, to my unbelievable Sawadikap V family all over the world, this is your chief, and if you're wondering why the environment is different, I'm right now in the most beautiful room in the Intercontinental Hotel in Hua Hin, the royal city of Thailand, where we, in a few hours, guys, alright, are going to start 4 days, 3 nights of the most highest level, most unbelievable training platform the V has ever put together, called The Zone, which is the only training platform which is fully facilitated by the one and only, our mentor, my older brother, the most unbelievable upline you could ever ask for, Dato Sri Vijay Ishwaran. And I'm so excited. This is an exclusive training where you have to apply, be vetted, and then approve. It's limited to only 120 seats. That's it. We got hundreds of people, which we are very sorry that you cannot come. Alright, it's limited to 120 seats. It's once a year, and it's 4 days, 3 nights. Engaging, interacting, learning, being in the zone of my upline, our visionary, Dato Sri Vijay Ishwaran. And I think it's very apt that on this Wednesday message, I talk about this concept called the zone. The concept of being in an environment, being in somebody's zone, being in a certain mindset that allows you to be the best you can be, or allows you to excel as the person you are. And I never realized this, okay? And I've been through 21 years of being with Dato Sri Vijay. But being with somebody physically in the room talking, or for dinner, or for lunch, or traveling, is the most minute aspect of being in the zone. Like many of you say, Chief, I can't wait to come to VCon to see Dato Sri Japa, to see you, Chief. Alright, oh guys, I really need to come to ISB because that's where I get switched on. Now, if you analyze your journey of life, your excellence, alright, where you have grown the most, where you have achieved a highest level of success, has been when you have been in a certain zone. Now, some zones we like, some zones we don't. So if you realize from the day you started going to school, you have been in a zone, in an environment where there could be high level of discipline, where there could be a lot of teachers imparting knowledge onto you. It could be being in a sports team, alright? It could be spending time with your grandmother, your grandfather, somebody you love dearly, somebody you wanted to listen to constantly, and you felt good being in their zone. Alright? And I realize today, the biggest challenge that you face, whether you are old networker, not by age, but by time, alright, and also age, or you are a brand new guy or girl who just signed up, alright, for you to succeed in network marketing, for you to get those weekly checks I spoke about last week, for you to ultimately become a max out king and queen and stand on stage with the founders, you need to decide, alright, make the ultimate decision that you need to be in a certain zone. Alright, here, mentally, you got to decide to move into a zone where you are an entrepreneur, where you are willing to make sacrifices, where you are taking every moment of your day seriously and not wasting it. Alright, that when you are focused on activity that matters, like presentation, counseling with your upline, doing trainings, building your organization, you need to be in an activity zone. Alright, and that's a decision you have to make. Now, a lot of you have activity, but you stay in that zone only for 1 hour a day, 30 minutes a day, and then you get frustrated that you are not earning the checks you want to earn. So I realized from a very young age that your activity zone decides the results that you create. So when I was young, I played field hockey, and the more I practice in that activity, the better I became in field hockey. Alright, when I wanted to start talking to girls, I realized the more I practiced talking to girls, the better I became at convincing them to become my date or my girlfriend. Alright, now the same applies in network marketing. You have to be in the activity zone. That your level of activity must be consistent, crazy, and it must reach a point where you are actually reaching a point of giving up, surrendering, too much work. When's the last time have you said it? When is the last time have you said to your heart, alone, sitting in your living room, I'm working too hard. I've never worked this hard before. Oh my God, it's non-stop activity from presentation, follow through, closing, training, 8 basic building blocks, handling objections, handling challenges, handling a crisis, motivating the guy, focusing on TAT, coming back, bringing my core leaders at home, cooking food, letting them be in my personal zone. Now, when's the last time you felt that you were seriously in an activity zone at the highest level? Now, you ask me for the past 21 years, my activity zone is crazy. There are times where I forget to eat. There are times where I forget I don't even have time to go to the bathroom. There are times I come back and I'm so freaking tired, I don't even have time to take off my shoe. Alright? And the next morning, boom, out of the house again. Activity. You need to be in that mental zone of activity. Now, the second zone that helped me become the chief I am today as your upline is being in the zone of somebody, alright, who is going to add value, to improve me, to be my guiding star, alright, to be my compass in my journey of life as an individual, as Padman Senathirajah, alright, not only as chief, not only as an entrepreneur. And being in that person's zone is so important, and it's not only about being in that zone physically, but even when I'm away from Dato Sri Vijay, I think of him, I think of the lessons he has imparted to me. I read his books like The Sphere of Silence, 2 Minutes on the Abyss. Alright? Okay? I read his messages, and the minute I feel that I'm losing or stepping out of his zone, alright, I engage with him to be sucked back into the zone. And being in somebody's zone is fundamentally important. Now, it's not power of association. Power of association is being in an environment where you may not be engaging with anyone, but the environment just feels good, like VCon, like your events or your welcomes or your trainings. But being in somebody's zone is being in that person's guidance map. That person becomes, your guide through this journey of life, entrepreneurship, network marketing, fatherhood, motherhood, sisterhood, brotherhood. Alright, how to be a better son, a better daughter. And this is so important. And I am blessed because I have Dato Sri Vijay. But staying in his zone requires great effort from me. And guys, don't think, I got to look for somebody to stay in their zone and move into their house, alright, with your pillow and blanket and say, I'm here, I'm going to be in your zone. That's not what it means. That I can meet Dato Sri Vijay once a month, but be in his zone for the other 29 days. Thinking of what he expects from me, thinking as though he's watching me, thinking that what he expects Padman to do, how does he expect Padman to perform, what kind of upline does he want Padman to be, what kind of boss does he want Padman to be, what kind of human being does he want Padman to be. And going back to the lessons he has taught, not to repeat it to my downlines and look like an intellectual wisdom guy like Dato Sri, but to apply it in my own life. Your challenge is, you are in nobody's zone. Alright, and I hope this Wednesday message is part of you being in my zone. But what happens after you watch the Wednesday message? Alright, do you just pass it down to your downlines, hoping they apply it? Alright, or do you apply it to yourself? Now, I realize that when you leave the activity zone, your checks drop. Alright, because activity represents financial freedom. Now, when you leave a mentor zone, you start to deteriorate. As an individual, you become lazy, ineffective. Alright, people stop listening to you. You lose and burn bridges and relationships. Alright, you start to decay and you start to forget the power, a limitless potential you have. So I realized that many people who are lost today in QNet, many people who are complaining they're not achieving greatness, many people who are just floating through life and wasting oxygen. That means eat, sleep, shit, that's it. Alright, these people, if you really analyze their lives, they don't belong to anyone's zone. They don't have a mentor. They don't have an upline. They don't have somebody they can surrender to because their cups are full and they're arrogant and they think they've made it in life. Alright? But I'm telling you, the only greatness you can achieve is when you are in somebody's zone, when you stay in somebody's shadow, when you are in service to somebody. The only greatest form of leadership is servant leadership. The only form of power is humility. That all the wealth you have means nothing if the whole world thinks you are? Exactly. You understand? If the whole world doesn't respect you, doesn't want to follow you, if you are not the benchmark, then what's the use of having all the money in the world? Because Dato Sri Vijay always told me, Patman, money is the easiest thing to make. Respect is the hardest thing to earn. Alright? Always remember that. But most importantly, you have to be in somebody's zone. So look up, look sideways. And I'm not only talking about your direct uplines. It can be a father, it can be a mother. It can be a teacher from school who's still in touch with you. It can be somebody you see on video, like me. Alright? Being in somebody's zone doesn't mean being in physical proximity. It simply means of your thought process goes through an automatic filter. Like everything I do, everything I say, every action I take, every decision I make, I go through that Dato Sri Vijay filter. What would he think? What has he taught me? Am I applying correctly? Alright? And the third aspect of being in the zone is for you to be in your own zone. I know this is confusing. Alright? But this is a fact. That you have the ability to sit on your own and remain focused on why you started this journey. That zone of a dreamer, that zone of a warrior, that zone that you have decided, this is who I am, this is who I represent, this is who I'm going to be, that I am a warrior, not a wimp, that I am a dreamer, not a loser, that I am a fighter, not a coward, that I am somebody who cares genuinely and not somebody who talks but not walk the talk. I am somebody who's in service and people can see it and feel it. I am somebody who's successful and my checks prove it, that my lifestyle proves it, that you live in this zone of who you expect yourself to be. And the third zone is a zone that is very hard to live in, because ultimately you're talking to the man or woman in the mirror. Alright? This is the who you are when nobody's watching. Who you are when you are alone. Alright? That a lot of people can put on the greatest act on the planet and they are useless when they are alone. But I believe that if you live in your own zone and you take your value system seriously, you take your dream seriously, you take your journey of life seriously, then you are still greatness when you are alone. And you're still humble when you're alone. And you still believe in what you say when you are alone. Many, many years ago, my mom, God bless her soul, told me this, that there is not a single moment where you are not Patman Senathirajah. That you carry your father's name, you carry your grandfather's value system, alright, and you carry your mentor's name everywhere you walk. So all of you guys, if you choose me as a mentor, if you choose Dato Sri as a mentor, you choose Japa as a mentor, and you believe that you are in our zone, then you are us in everything you do, say, how you behave, how you carry yourself, and how you make a difference in other people's lives. So in a few hours, we're going to change 120 lives with the great one, Dato Sri Vijay, leading us in the zone. But you have to recognize this fact. Stay in the zone. Activity, mentor, guide, upline, and in your own zone. And then you will stay switched on for a long, long time. Like 21 years, guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you at VCon Malaysia in September. Stay in the zone.